It's my birthday. What the? Oh, stop! Ah! It's my birthday as of day that this goes up. So if you watch this, any of the. Oh, hello. Hey, puppy boy. It's my birthday. So, like, oh, he loves me so much. But yeah, that means I can shamelessly plug my channel. Oh my gosh. Do you want this? Okay. Here you go. You can have it. All right. So that aside, now I can like shamelessly plug my channel. So you should follow me on Twitch and you should subscribe to me on YouTube. And then also, if you guys need cards, go to TCG Player, the link in the description. And then if you buy cards after pressing that, I get a little bit back. So it's free money for me for stuff you're doing anyways. So that could be your birthday gift. If there's like a $5 card you need, buy it. It's on you, but it's for me. So like I'll get the points back. Anyways, all right. That's enough of that. Let's go to the actual video. All right, today we've got a yellow Rejuvenation Frieza. I've been wanting to play this deck since I saw it announced, and I haven't. Like, it's been like a month, but I'm happy I'm finally tried it out, and it's pretty much what I thought it was going to be. It's going to be a really difficult deck to kind of put together and pilot, but once you get your ratios and everything down, it feels really good, and it's like a really kind of cool control deck that I really like. Also, there is gameplay that is also narrated over at the end of this video, so if you want to just skip to that, just hit the little timestamp and go there. But let's go over what this guy does and everything. It's going to be a lot of reading. There's a lot of text. I'm going to try to go through this as fast as I can. But I really like this build. I think this is a good stepping stone, and if you guys want to try out this deck, I recommend doing this build and then making the tweaks that you want from there. I think there's some room for differences, but a lot of these cards you just kind of have to put in the deck because it's really archetype driven too. So, all right, what does this leader do? So first, it's a 5k on the front, so don't forget about that. I totally did a couple times. But if all your life is face up, you lose the game. And then when you take damage, flip cards from your life face up instead of taking the damage. So you're immune to crit, essentially, but like technically all damage is also crit because you don't get the cards to your hand when you take damage. And then permanent cards in your life can only be flipped face up by skills on mono yellow cards, and you can't add face up cards from your life to your hand, so you just can't self-awaken yourself either. So that's kind of like the idea for this leader. It's super weird. And then auto, when you play this card in your leader area, activate up to one cutting edge recovery device from your deck, which is essentially just like more of your leader card. It's just like more text because they probably couldn't fit all of it on one side. But it's barrier, field, auto once per turn. When a card in your life is flipped face up, choose up to one of your opponent's cards and switch to rest mode. And then activate once per turn. If all of your energy is mono yellow and you choose one card in your life and one yellow Frieza army card in your battle area, place them in owner's drop area, draw two, then choose up to one mono yellow Frieza army card or mono yellow unison card in your hand and place it in your life face up. So this just like mitigates your draw, and then also it lets you like put cards face up in your life, which is really, really good for this deck. And then also it has an active main battle. If you have 3 or more cards face up in your life, you may place this card in owner's drop area, flip your leader over. If you do, place the top card of your deck in your life face up. So essentially this is the awakening condition for this. You just want to have your cards face up in your life, which can either happen with this active main, or if your leader takes damage, that's how cards become face up in your life. And then also awaken, when your life is at 5 or less, choose one cutting edge recovery device in your battle area, place it in a drop area, then flip this card over. So that's like if like the worst condition. For a reason, you can just like awaken with this guy. You just have to have 5 or less life, which is fine too, but you definitely want to use the recovery device for that. And on the back side, it has the same 2 permanents, and then it has an active battle. Once per turn, place 1 card from your life to your drop area, draw 1 card, and then this card gets plus 5k power and double strike for the battle. So that's really good like value for you. It's, you know, you can use it offensively and defensively. You can put stuff onto the board with, you know, how some of these cards work, and it's just good. And like just being able to give yourself double strike and everything, it's a really handy leader for that. And so that's the idea. You'll notice that that's the only way you can draw cards with this leader. The awakening, you don't get to do any card draw or anything else, but I can assure you that you still do get enough cycle. It's just really weird. So there's that. And then we have a bunch of 1-drops. So we've got with varying ratios. I think this is like, you can choose these as you want, but we're just going to go down through it. So we've got Sorbet, super easy. If when this card is played, look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Add up to 1 yellow Frieza army cards with energy cost 3 or less, or up to 1 yellow unison card specific cost of 2 among them to your hand and shuffle. Also has an activate for 1 yellow. If your leader card's yellow Frieza army and cutting edge recovery device is in your battle area, you can play this card from your drop area with skills negated for the turn. You can't play copies of this card for the turn. So just being able to like get a free card that you can get to use just immediately with your recovery device is good. So like you can play this, like you can just like put this in your drop area and then play it for 1 yellow anyways, and then you don't get the card drop, but then you can just use the recovery device immediately for it. And then we also have Ginyu One Last Body Change. So I really like this card. So if your leader card is a yellow Frieza army, you place 1 face-up card from your life in your drop area. When this card is played, draw 2. So just being able to draw 2 for 1 energy is good. And when one of your opponent's cards is switched to rest mode by one of your skills, this card gains blocker for the turn, which is also really easy to do with all the cards that you have that can switch things to rest. So I really like this card, especially like off Frieza's Call. Like being able to just find this and be like a 1 energy draw 2 is fantastic in a lot of ways. It's just like a better Goku ape. So I feel like this card's really good for the deck. We also have Tacoma, Cold as Ice. When this card is played, draw 1. And then also activate, if your leader card's yellow Frieza army, you have 2 or more energy, you may place 1 face-up card from your life to your drop area and send this card from your drop area to a warp. You may choose 1 mono yellow Frieza army card or mono yellow unison card from your hand, placing your life face up. If you do draw 1, you can activate main skills of this for the turn. This is kind of nice, just being able to like cycle our life if we need to put something in our life. And like we get like some free draw anyways, so it's fine. And just like turn 1, just playing this hard casting and drawing 1 is also a good idea. So just generically good cards there. Also, you can just use use Frieza's Call, get this, and then draw a card, and then after that you can use Cutting Edge Recovery Device and get rid of it. You can go from there. So all that's really, really good. And then our last one drop, we've got Frieza, same stuff, different day. Love the title for this card. It's just a counterattack, negate the attack, and play this card. But also permanent if you have a leader. If your leader card is a Frieza army, yellow, and this card is face up in your life, you may pay this card's energy cost and activate this card's counter skill from your life. I felt like this was good. I originally had this at 4, but every time I played it, I just felt this is an okay card. It's just like a more negates, and we already have some. We have a lot of blockers in this deck for sure. So I felt like this was okay to put at just 2, but still a nice card nonetheless. So I thought he was okay there. So those are 1-drops, and so pretty much what we want to do turn 1 is just essentially play either a Tacoma Cold as Ice, Sorbet, or one of those 2 from Frieza's Call. So we have a lot of turn 1 plays for this deck for sure. And then that just means that we can use our Cutting Edge device turn 1, use our effects there, get some card draw essentially, and then also like start flipping cards up from our life, which is what we really want to do. But we have to kind of like, depending on what deck we're playing against, we have to pace it because our life is a really weird limbo between like having like good card advantage or like life advantage or like, I don't know, it's really weird. You have to play it and you have to play a lot of games with it, but I like it a lot. And then turn 2, we just kind of do, we have a couple plays, so we've got like this Frieza, the Onslaught begins. I might want to bump this up to 4 of, but if your leader card's a yellow Frieza army and all your cards all your energy is mono yellow, and this card's, when this face-up card in your life is placed in your drop area, play this card from your drop area for 1 yellow. So being able to do that is fun, especially like if you can do something like your opponent swings into your leader, and then you use, like your awakened leader, use this effect to pop the Frieza, and then you use that to pay 1 yellow, and you get this out for free, and then you get a blocker out for free, which is nice. It also has an auto, if it's your turn, when this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, any cost of 4 or less, and rest mode and KO it. And we have a bunch of ways to get our opponent's cards in the rest mode, so just being able to get this effect, even if you have to pay this for 2, is fine, because it's a 2-drop blocker that gets a pop like that. I probably want to bump this up to 4. I really like this card a lot. Next up, we've got Frieza Trained at Last. Same kind of thing, but it's a 19k double strike that you get to do the same, pay for 1 yellow to play it. But also, if your leader card is a yellow Frieza army, you place 1 face-up card from your life into your drop area. When your opponent plays a battle card, you may choose that card, switch it to rest mode, and if you do, draw 1 card and negate this skill for the turn. It's really, really good. Like this is a really good effect. Being able to do that, like there's no like energy restriction, and it gets around deflect. It doesn't get around barrier because it's a choose card, but it's also the fact that it rests the card after it's been played means that we have triggers for like Bergamo, and we have triggers for like Poutine and everything. I really like this card, and just because it's for free, like you take life damage, but the life you just ping the life that's face up, and then and you gotta draw a card for it too. So technically, you already took that life. This card's great. This is a really good card and really helps the deck out. I really like the design of this card. So those are kind of like your mid range plays, and you can always do that. Once again, probably one more of these Frieza Onslaught begins. But we also chose Super Saiyan Gogeta Dynamic Unison for our Unison for this deck. There's a lot of choices for Unisons in this deck, but I really like the -4 ability on this guy. I feel like it was too important to not have it, and then also like just being able to like this is I feel like the best like mid-range Unison for the deck, where it's defensive in some points because we're able to get the plus 5k power. It's really easy to get markers for this guy. It's really easy to cycle our cards with this guy. And then, being able to use the -4 to make it so your opponent can only untap 2 energy next turn is great. And then, like, for the biggest thing about this deck is that we have a big turn 5 play. So this Frieza Divine Transformation is fantastic. If your leader card's yellow and this card's played, choose all of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode, KO them, and then flip 1 face-up card in your life face down at the end of the turn, switch this card active mode. It can't be removed from your battle area by your opponent's skills, which is good. Deflect, double strike, blocker. Auto once per turn when your opponent activates at a counter attack skill. Choose up to 2 of their cards, switch in the rest mode, and they can't be switched to active mode until the end of your opponent's next turn. So that can be like, you can use that for their energy and stuff. And this card's just a menace, but you have to tap out for it, right? You want to play this turn 5 and tap out and be safe. So being able to just use like Gogeta -4 to make it so your opponent doesn't have a lot of energy to use next turn is really good. And like on the flip side, this can make, if you're tapping out every turn, it makes your leader a 20k every turn, and just kind of hard for your opponent to get rid of. So I really like this card. This is the one I chose, especially since the +1 means you get to, it's really easy to cycle cards for this deck, and like if you have any dead cards, you can just cycle them out and draw 2. So I like this, and it helps us find our secret rare. I think the secret rare is really easy to get out in this deck, and it's if you find it, you pretty much, it's hard for your opponent to win the game, because it just means like you have like a really good, slow way for you to win in a lot of ways, and it's just a really good card. We're playing 4 of the Vegetas because why not? Like, this card's amazing, especially because it can stop like 2 more swings and everything, and it's a blocker, so that's good for us as well. And then also for super combo, we decided to go Zamasu. I think Krillin could have a choice too. We have a lot of ways to switch things to rest mode anyways, that the card draw might just be that much more important for us, so maybe a 2-2 split could be seen. But 4 Zamasus is never like the wrong idea, because it's good at the same idea. Like it blocks more attacks on your opponent's turn, and especially for 0 energy, which is important for this deck because we're tapping out a lot to do our stuff. So there's that. I put also 2 Bardocks Resident Agent Instructions. I might take these out. I don't think these are needed for the deck. I think you can just be fine without these guys, but if you like them, you use them. Zamasu into Bojack is really powerful because you're able to stop like 3, maybe 4 attacks. So like the swing that goes on, so you out combo it to 1, you get to rest something, that's 2, you get to play Bojack, so you rest something else, that's 3, and then you get a blocker, so that's 4. So it's really good for that. But if you don't, it could be clunky at the same time, so you don't have to run this if you don't want to. And then I think that's everything. Bergamo 3, you can run 4 if you want. But once again, we rest our opponent's stuff really, really easily. So being able to just play this for 2 and rest 2 of our opponent's stuff is absurd at times. So I like this card a lot too. Frieza's Call, fantastic card because we get a bunch of good targets for this right now. You can even get like this Frieza the Onslaught Begins out of it because it's 2 costs. So you can just play this, and then your opponent, you can just like KO one of your opponent's cards in rest mode for 1 energy. That's really good too. And then you can like use this ability to like use the recovery device and go from there. I like this card. Like Frieza's Call is like, you need to run this card. It's fantastic. Flying Nimbus just to help us get to our turns that we need to win. And I think of Poutine. Poutine's a good card too. Just being able, because you can play this for free really easily. And then when one of your opponents plays a battle card using a skill or activates a counter skill, choose it to one of your opponent's battle cards and switch to rest mode. So it's easy to proc that as well. But here's the list right now. We're at 52 cards. You can make some changes. So if you don't like Bojacks, you can just take 2 of these out and then probably put in one of these Friezas, and maybe the counterplay or the counterattack Frieza if you want. Goku Apes could be put in this deck as well. I know Cooler was a card that people wanted. I just didn't feel like there was enough ways to, like, there wasn't a good reason to put this card in the deck. I don't feel like I was ever going to use it. You can finish the game really easily with this deck too, because you can just play, if you play a couple of these Friezas Train at Last, like you've got a bunch of double strikes because you have this guy, you have these guys, you've got your big 5-drop Frieza, and then you also have your leader that can give double strike as well. So just a bunch of power overall there. People also want Bardock, but I don't think this is good enough because 2 energy is really expensive for this deck, so I just didn't feel like it was worth it. And then you can choose whatever unison you want. I think like Ginyu's obviously the one that people are looking for, but like which would make sense immediately for the deck, but I don't think it makes 100% sense. I'd rather have like the Gogeta have something that can impact the board instead of just recovering one. I think this deck is defensive and controlly enough where you don't have to like gain more life necessarily. I think being able to pressure your opponent and set up a kill turn by making sure they then only have 2 energy open is a lot more impactful. So, but also I think cooler, if you want to run like a rejuvenation, I think cooler is probably a little bit cooler. I didn't mean that. I that was just autopilot, I swear. But being able to just place 1 mono yellow extra card with any cost of 1 or move or more from your drop area on this card and then draw 1. So just being able to do that. And then when you activate a yellow extra card with an original energy cost of 1 or more from your hand, add a marker to this card. So if you want to play this card, you probably want to run time. Actually, I don't think you can use time magic. I don't think you can do that. But you can just use this card. We play like Frieza's Call and everything. We have to play like a bunch of extra cards for it to be more valuable, and like you have to play this on like turn 3. I don't know, it can be kind of clunky, but it could be good. Vegeta can also fit this idea though of like having a card that you can just have like a good like middle condition and then like a really good late game condition as well. If you want to do more tapping stuff and be more of like a Universe 9 deck, you can play Bergamo. And I also like Baby too, because this is really easy to give your opponent like your leader plus 5k, because you'll have a bunch of bodies out, and then like you can like you can choose one of your mono yellow battle cards that energy cost 5 or less, switch to active mode, which means that you can swing at this Frieza twice, or just set it up for like blocker next turn as well. Like there's just a bunch of stuff that like all these cards can do. So I think there's some merit for any of these. I think Gogeta Unison's the one that I would pick, but I think there's some other choices there. And that's as fast as I could talk about this deck. Sorry it took so long. I know there's just a lot to talk about, and my voice is getting a little hoarse talking, just thinking about all I talked about. So that's going to be it for the explanation, and let's go into the gameplay. We start off with nothing too... Actually, a pretty good hand in the sense that I've got my 1-drop that draws a card, I've got my Unison and my Vegeta as well, so I set up my life. This is the easiest way I've found to do it on Untap. You can do some fancy stuff with the life point area, but I just decided to just do that for everyone's ease. So we have that there. Going to my turn, I didn't have anything to charge, so I had to charge the Vegeta, unfortunately, but play the 1-drop and then use the skill of my device. I really wish it was a pod, because it looks like a pod, am I right? But I'm able to put my 3-drop Frieza in there as well, and also get some card draw, which is really nice. And then from there, I believe he pays 2 to play his Trunks, using that a 15k looks at the top of his deck for, I believe, just a blue Saiyan. So I just take the life for there, get the Frieza's, another Frieza squad there. But now I'm in like a really tough spot of where I can't awaken this turn, but I got to be kind of tricky about it. So because I need to play a Frieza's army, so I think I charged the Bergamo. I probably should have charged the Vegeta, but I charged the Bergamo here, and then I used the Tagoma in the drop area. So I have 2 more energy, so I can just put it there. And then I'm able to just play that for 1 yellow energy to get that card out for free, and then I have to put a Unison Frieza army in my hand. I only had the Unison, that was the only target for it, so I put that back into my life, and then I was able to just play the Frieza there, which felt pretty good. And then he's used his leader to swing onto my leader, which I was okay with, so I took another life. I just flipped another one over, and it was another one of the 3-drop Friezas, so one of the pretty much a hit for my life there. Really good there. And now I can awaken whenever I want. And then also I use the device ability to rest one of his cards, and once I did that, I played Poutine from my hand. I could rest that Goku, but I decided not to. I felt like I wanted to awaken this turn. So what he did is he swung into my leader. You took a life to become a 15k crit, and then I used the device ability to awaken because I had 3 face up, and then I put the there, and then I used the ability of my leader to get plus 5k, dropping the Frieza, which means I could play it for 1 yellow, and I got to play it for free there. So that's how all that worked, and then I used that Frieza's ability to rest the Vegeta coming in and draw a card. So a lot of stuff going on, but essentially all good stuff for me. So he has those 2 cards out there at 7 life. So I think the play that I wanted to do was just 1. I didn't have like anything I could really do, but for 2, I just played the Frieza just to pop one of his cards. Then use my leader swing to swing into there and just pop that as well. And then I just use a Frieza to get him there, just get him to 15k, 19k double strike. Make it so he had to, he can't awaken by himself on his leader. So stalling him at 5 felt like the good play there. And yeah, just these Friezas are really good late game too. So he played for 3 this Unison, which was kind of annoying. It really good for like playing the trunks. So he swings there and I just flip a card over because I'm wanting more cards to hit from there anyways. Because you use your life as a resource a lot of ways, and I wanted some more cards for my Frieza 3-drops to do stuff. So he became a 15k leader there, and I think I took another one there. And yeah, so there's another card I can use for my abilities, because that's the Frieza I can play for 1 yellow if I pop him out of my life. So I draw 1, I get another one of the 3-drop Friezas, and I don't really have a lot of stuff I can do, so I just swing there. And then when he does that, he uses he plays Hatch and the Trunks. So essentially, Poutine will rest the Hatchiyak, and then also the Frieza. I'll pay the 1 yellow to play the Frieza, and then once the Frieza gets played, I'll pop the Trunks that was rested because of my other Frieza, and then from there, for 2 energy, for 1 energy, I play the Sorbet. I think it's Sorbet. No, not Sorbet. Whatever, Tagoma. Yeah, to draw 2 cards by popping one of the cards face up in my life. Do it again with another Frieza army call there, so I can find one of him, play it in rest mode, pop my Unison, draw 2 more cards. So I've got a lot of cards here, a lot of blockers too. So I've got 2 blockers, and then also if I rest something with my Tacoma becomes a blocker as well for the turn. So I'm feeling really good with how much stuff I have, especially because they don't have a lot of cards in hand. He plays the Gotenks 4-drop, and from there he swings in with his leader, 10k. I don't think I do anything because he has to combo something to actually deal damage to me. So there's that. Swings Unison there. I will just use that to rest his Hatchiyak, and then combo out of it. And then for there, I'll just use my Tagoma which has blocker, just to block the attack from there. Whew, boy. Okay, a lot of stuff going on, but I think we're still good. So he uses the -2 to get rid of one of my Friezas, which is fine, and I think he just passes from there. Yeah, he's able to untap something and also untap an energy if he's able to awaken, and I think eventually he does. He just plays one of the 1-drops. And right here, I could have used Frieza's effect to rest it, and maybe I should have, but I felt like if he went down to 4 energy, I had a really good way to win, because I had 2 double strikers on field, and I was going to play my 5-drop in hand. So I just took the 1 just to have more stuff to use, and I knew that I was going to be able to use... If I was just going to hardcast my 5-drop next turn, it wasn't a big deal anyways. So I charged Flying Nimbus again because I knew I wasn't going to, I couldn't play it next turn anyway, I was going to be dead. And I had a lot of Zamasu super combos in hand, so I wasn't super scared. But I used that. He's able to pop the Hatch and the Goku there because it pops all rest cards. Swing Double Strike into there. Uses the +1 to get its effect off, which is fine by me. I was just making sure that he couldn't use like a... Trunks counterplay on me, so I swung Double Strike into there, 25k. Used 2 cards to combo out, and then from there I was like, okay, cool. I'll swing there and do that. Boom. So it just got rid of that there. Untapped that because of my ability, and also I essentially gained a life because that Frieza lets me do that. So. I have a lot of card advantage on him, and I was it's like, what kind of secret rare could he just play to pop everything? But I used the Frieza ability to play it in rest, and he got rid of 2 of my blockers. I used my other Frieza blocker to just take that 1 attack there. Also, since I put that to rest mode, my Tagoma got blocker now too. So now he swung into there. I decided not to combo because not to block because I felt like I could just combo that out anyways. That was more useful. So I just did that, and then he was able to untap everything there. Going into turn 6, I think I just charged. Do I charge another one of my Nimbus? Yeah, I didn't think that I would need that at all. Swung there into there. Rested his guy, and then I don't think I get any other triggers from there. But he combos there. Combos out of it. Oh, I think he took 2 cards from his life. Okay, I was wondering about this when I was watching it. I think I still had the game on the board, but he drew 2 cards from his life instead of 2 cards from the top of his deck, which I don't think made a big difference because I had like a bunch of swings on board anyways. But then he had 2 negates. I was able to lock 2 of his energy because it was my Frieza counterplay, and then I just he was at 1 because of it. So I just played Sin Shenron and then it's comboed out. Even if I couldn't win this turn because of all that, I think I still had a good spot next turn. But that was a game. I wish I would have noticed that 2 life change anyways, but that's fine. And I think this deck is really good. It's obviously you have to really focus on this deck to play it really well. And but I think there's a really high skill ceiling for this deck. So if that interests you, I think this is really the deck for you. And I don't think this deck is deserves all the shame that a lot of people gave it when it first came out. So that's it for me. Thank you guys for watching this game. Hope you guys liked it. Let me know what you think of the deck, and I'll catch you all next time.